You're listening to The Shiny Sofa, the official podcast from Latex 24/7, the premier online magazine dedicated to latex fashion news, reviews, and interviews.
Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of The Shiny Sofa. Coming up on this show, we talk about Daiki Koga wearing Atsuko Kudo, Bella Hadid looking incredible in Elissa Poppy Latex, and we take a look behind the scenes at FBLD Latex. Joining us today is Latex brand owner of Tight Side Latex, Holly Smith.
And I get messages on Instagram from people, saying how it's changed their life.
So take a seat on the sofa, make yourself comfortable, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course via latex247.co.uk.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on episode number 7 of The Shiny Sofa, Latex fashion podcast brought to you by Latex 24/7. Each episode will welcome a special guest, and I'm super thrilled to say that today's guest is Holly Smith, owner and designer of Tight Side Latex. Hey Hol, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good. Brilliant to finally get the chance to speak to you and find out about your journey. And
so excited. I love talking about latex, talking about myself. So I'm super excited as well.
Well, good stuff, Fab. Well, I'm sure we'll have loads to talk about. Here at The Shiny Sofa, we like to find out a little bit more about our guests and what makes them tick. The segment of the show we like to call the Quickfire Round. We have a huge list of questions which we'll feed into our random generator, and our guest has 60 seconds to answer as many multiple choice quickfire questions as they can before the time runs out. You ready, Hal?
Yes, let's go.
Cool, let's do this. Here we go. Calling or texting?
Texting.
Paris or New York?
Paris.
Hair up or hair down?
Hair down.
Dog or cat?
Dog, always.
Yay. Scary movie or comedy movie?
Comedy.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes. I live in Amsterdam. Come on.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Harry Potter. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Read a book or watch a movie?
Read book.
Ice skating or rollerblading?
Rollerblading.
Lennon or McCartney?
McCartney.
Sleep in or wake up early?
Oh, sleeping always.
Long drive or long walk?
Long walk.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Red pill or the blue pill?
Oh, blue pill.
Be rich or happy?
Be happy.
Jeans or sweatpants?
Sweatpants.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Heels or flats?
Flats always.
Swim with sharks or dolphins?
Sharks.
And that sound means we've reached the end. I make that you got 20. I think that's our new leader.
Oh, yes. That's the only reason I wanted to come on here.
Might be not having you. Bye.
Yay.
Nice one. Yes, let's do quick. Get them in quick. Go for it. Just first thing
just
into the ad.
smash them out.
Awesome. Fantastic. So let's take a look at some of the recent latex clothing and fashion news stories which we've covered on latex247.co.uk over the past month or so. We'll start off with model Daiki Koga, who was wearing an Atsuko Kudo vest for a shoot in Attitute Magazine.
Yeah,
I think that's a really simple item, but something that works in every picture and photo that it's in so well.
It looks amazing. The styling, it's so good. And the picture with the bunny ears, kind of, when I spoke about the leather collection I'm going to be doing, that's the kind of thing that we're going to be doing.
Okay, cool.
So it's, I think it complements it really nicely. And like you said, it's just a simple item, but just looks amazing.
It does, and it's great to see. It's great to see that male side of latex as well.
Sure, absolutely.
Of course, it's predominantly latex fashion predominantly tends to be female. So great with that male side, which I know is something that you do within Tight Side, isn't it? To how do you do that?
Exactly. As I said, you would be so surprised at the amount of menswear we sell versus women's wear. So, I think men are a bit more secretive about it, if I can say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there is a huge market for it. And I think pictures like this and articles like this just help to bring that menswear into the mainstream, which is exactly what we want, which is amazing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And designs that you produce, one that always springs to mind is that a zipper hoodie that you do.
That's so popular.
That is absolutely awesome. Because that's something that can be worn with so many other items.
Yeah, and then we did the oversized hoodie to complement it because that hoodie was such a good seller. But I think with menswear, it is still important to keep it quite classic in a way, and especially if you want it to be mainstream and to be able to be worn outside, let's say.
Of course, yes.
So I think the oversized version of it was a really nice one because also you can then wear it over T-shirts, even jumpers, and I think, those kind of styles, like the vest top in this article as well, definitely brings it into the mainstream, which is only a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree. We also covered fashion model Bella Hadid, who was featured again wearing Elissa Poppy. This time she wore a midi dress in a white cream colour.
She looks insane. Yeah. She looks amazing.
I think that dress just shows how powerful latex can be at showing off people's curves, showing off their figure.
Absolutely.
And she looks super confident with it as well.
That's it. That's exactly, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there, I think. It's like, I know she's a supermodel and she's slim and all of this, but no matter what, as long as you have got the confidence, which I think latex, once you put it on, naturally gives you, you can wear it, you can rock it, and you will look amazing.
Definitely.
So I think it's important that just because she's a slim supermodel, like obviously not everyone looks like this, but it's not about that. It's just about the feeling that latex gives you, which you can really see in the video as well, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's it was part of a collaboration with beauty brand Charlotte Tilbury. The images are fantastic, and
it's amazing. She looks great.
That dress is sublime, gorgeous. It really is.
Beautiful. I love the back of it, that backless. We've got a new catsuit coming out. I think I posted real pictures on Instagram. The backless thing is so beautiful. And I also think it makes it, number one, easier to put on. Number two, a little bit more breathable when you're wearing it.
But it's always a good thing.
Just sexy, because latex is obviously also about being covered up, but being naked almost at the same time. And I think like having a beautiful backless garment like that shows that off as well in the same way. So
without a doubt, definitely. Yeah. Completely agree. We also took a look back at the beginning of September at a video that was recently released for Italian latex brand FBLD, which is an Italian latex brand owned by Francesca Bellinghieri. Hope I pronounced that right. Who I think had a very similar ethos to Tight Side. I would say, Holly, in the sense that she graduated from university, took on a role of becoming business owner, running a business as one woman, doing everything from designing, cutting, sending out the orders, and yeah, it was a really great video just to see that background, see the obvious enthusiasm that she has for the material, and also the enthusiasm that she has for helping local people in the area with giving them jobs and employment. And she now got 5 employees from the local area in Italy now working for her. And yeah, I saw that and I thought that reminds me, that story reminds me so much of the journey that you're on.
Yeah. I mean, I take my hat off to anyone that can set up their own business, let alone, a fashion company, because it's a brutal industry, I'm not going to lie. And making everything yourself, it is a lot of work. And it's inspiring to me to see that there's other people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I loved watching the video and just seeing her story and knowing that there's almost someone in the same position just in another part of the world.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of made me also feel a bit more connected to the community a little bit. And I love it. Yeah, I'm all for anyone setting up their own business and just really doing something they're passionate about.
Yeah, definitely.
It's inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's great story to hear. And well, we wish Francesca the best of luck with the business growing. Hopefully, from 5 employees up to as many as she can employ. So yeah, brilliant.
I know how hard it is. So yeah, really, really good luck, and I'm sure she'll be amazing. Well, she already is, but I'm sure she'll continue to grow.
Well, that's fab. Thanks, Hal. Well, take a short break, and we'll be back after these short messages.
Thank you.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Polish Latex Care. That's POLYSH on polishyourlatex.com and Amazon. Polish is a new female-owned latex care brand based in the United States and is dedicated to popularizing latex in America. As we know, latex is a unique material that requires special attention to keep it looking its best. That's where Polish Latex Care comes in. This brand carries the essentials: cleaner, shiner, and dressing aid to ensure your latex stays healthy and shiny for years to come. The best part? Polish is dedicated to always being cheaper than the major competitors. Don't break the bank on your care products. Save your money for your next catsuit. So, whether you're a veteran in the latex scene or simply learning how to care for your first outfit, Polish is your go-to brand for all your latex care needs. With their affordable line of products, you can keep your wardrobe in pristine condition without spending a fortune. Make the switch to Polish today. Head over to www.polishyourlatex.com and use code COUCH for a 15% discount on your next order. Remember, that's COUCH at polishyourlatex.com. The ultimate solution for all your latex care needs. You're listening to The Shiny Sofa, the official podcast from Latex 24/7, the premier online magazine dedicated to latex fashion news, reviews, and interviews.
Welcome back to The Shiny Sofa, latex fashion podcast brought to you by Latex 24/7. Joining us again this episode is the amazing Holly Smith, Tight Side Latex. Welcome back, Hol. Good to have you here.
Hello.
So you have had quite a background in fashion, qualifications, previous experience in the industry. Tell us a little bit about where that interest started and the journey that you went on.
Yeah. So to start from the beginning, I guess, I always knew I wanted to get into fashion. And actually, my mum said to me, "You can't just want to work in fashion. All girls want to work in fashion." And I was like, "No, but I really, really do." So in the days before, iPhone, she printed out a load of job descriptions about what you could do in fashion and brought them home. I was probably about 14 and I was reading through them and I saw one for a fashion buyer. And I said, oh my God, like traveling the world, spending money on clothes, like that is me. That is what I want to do with my life. So yeah, from about the age of 14, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So then I went to university in Leicester in England and graduated with a first in fashion buying and design. And then after that, I worked for Arcadia, which are no longer in existence. Like we worked for Burton. And then I went to work for ASOS. And when I was there, I got up to buyer. So I started as an assistant, got up to like a buyer level. And then I got kind of scouted for a job at Tommy Hilfiger in Amsterdam. And God, I can't even remember what year, maybe 2018 or 17, and then I moved over to Amsterdam, started doing that for a little while, and then the pandemic hit. So the pandemic hit, I was turning 30 and it changed everything. So I was just really not very happy with what I was doing, working for someone else, and I just knew that I wanted to do something for myself, something like more meaningful to me. So right at the beginning of the pandemic is then when I started Tight Side Latex. So that's kind of from 14 years old to 32 years old. So that's what ended up happening.
Cool. So where did that interest in latex clothing come from? Was it something that you saw and you thought, you know what, that's interesting, that's different, I think I can do something with that that's a bit out of the ordinary? Or
there's like a few different avenues, I guess, that I took to get into it. So one of them was during the pandemic, I went on sick leave at the job I was at. And I was just wanted to get back to what I loved, which was just drawing and designing and all these things. And I was just looking on Pinterest, inspiration, and I just came across a few latex things. And I was just so inspired by it. And I really started researching into it. And I thought, do you know what? I could do that. I'm just going to try and do that. Like I obviously had a background in making clothing, but I'd never made actual latex before. So I just started designing some things. I just literally, I ordered some fabric and some glue. Like I had no idea what I was doing. And honestly, the first few things I made were actually not wearable in any way. Stay together. And, as well as that, it was just a huge trend at that time, I think, and it still is, like on the catwalk with some big designers and celebrities wearing it and things like that. And, you know, my boyfriend really liked it as well, which didn't hurt. So, but no matter how like the progression happened into latex, really. And before I knew it, it became a business, honestly. Like it was never my plan really to make it a business. It just happened.
You've touched on it already there, that you started the business during the pandemic. I think a lot of people would probably consider that as a bit of a crazy idea. What a time to start a new career. But do you think that time sort of allowed you the flexibility and the opportunity to experiment and to
absolutely
maybe be able to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do when you're holding up a full-time job?
Absolutely. Like I think for me, as well as a lot of people, like the pandemic made us reassess what was important and what we wanted to spend time doing. And for me, working at a job that I liked, but it wasn't mine. And I knew I had so much to give, and working for a company wasn't my full potential, or I felt like it wasn't my full potential. So I think the pandemic just highlighted for me what I needed to do, those next steps I needed to take to be like happy in my life, really. And like you said, the time thing, everyone did have a little bit more time being at home. I didn't have to commute to work. I didn't have to be in the office. And as I said before, I actually went on sick leave a little bit into the pandemic. So obviously that also gave me a lot more time. But like and I hate to say it because I know that a lot of people really like lost a lot of loved ones and a lot of terrible stuff happened during the pandemic. But
of course, yes.
You know, for me, it was really like an awakening, and it was almost like it was kind of a good thing. I like, if I can say it in that way, that it happened because it really pushed me into making this business, basically. Yeah. And also I was turning 30, so another big
the big 3-0.
That was another big life. And then I just maybe had a bit of a breakdown and just thought, fuck it, I want to start a business. But the pandemic, I don't think I would have started the business if it wasn't for the pandemic. I don't think.
So it's kind of become clear since day one. I think that since you started posting on Instagram and started being made aware of the business of Tight Side Latex, it's always struck me that it's clear that you have a real passion for the material and a real passion for showing it off and helping people to understand that it can be a perfectly acceptable material. It doesn't have to be something that's scary and should be avoided.
Absolutely. Like, I think like another reason that I also started the brand and where it came from is that I used to have an eating disorder and I felt very uncomfortable, very self-conscious, and I was in quite a bad place for a while. And I think once I started exploring latex and trying it on and realizing what it could be, because I also think living in Amsterdam, I guess, and just my concept of latex in general is that it always had to be fetish, right? It always had to be this quite intense, like scary thing. That's how it was to me anyway. And I think once I just started making stuff that I liked and that I wanted to wear. And once I started doing that, it made me realize what latex could be. And I really think that that's how the business, that's the heart of the business, basically, is like things that I like and things that I would personally wear. And I think a lot of companies really try and cater to what other people want, what's on trend, what do people want to buy, and that's great for some people to do, but like I really think that I've created a good concept of just making stuff that I like, because like you said, like that's the only way that my passion can come through when I talk about it or sell it or wear it. And hopefully that's reflected in everything you see online or Instagram or socials. So that's really where it came from.
Definitely. And I think your designs have always taken that fashion approach, haven't they? They've always been something that
it's important for me to be able to wear a pair of leggings. And don't get me wrong, I do have like some underwear pieces and things that you wouldn't be able to wear out, but as much as possible, like I think I did an Instagram reel about how to wear a catsuit with different clothes. Like even catsuit, I don't think people would typically think you could wear that with like, I want to say like normal in inverted commas, like clothes, but you can, like, it's so cool. And I think even Zara a while ago, I remember my sister sending me a link, like Zara weren't selling latex, but they were styling some of their clothes with a latex catsuit or leggings or whatever. And I just thought that was like amazing, because that is just so mainstream and they're not selling it, but it's just getting it out there to people in a fashionable way, which I think is really important for people just not to be scared of it,
Yeah, completely agree. It's perfectly accessible and we say it most times we speak to people, but it's something that can so easily be combined with other materials, and the example you gave of Zara there was perfect. It's mix and match.
That's what I love. Like that's the look that I love as well. Mixing latex with any kind of like denim, like any kind of like a big thick woolly jumper, like anything that's super contrasting to like that's the look that I just love.
That's the key word there, isn't it? Contrast. I think
exactly.
that difference between the shiny and the non-shiny. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
cool.
For sure.
Cool. We've sort of touched this a little bit more, but if there was something that you could use to describe what makes Tight Side Latex unique and different to other designers, you could describe that in a few words. What would that be, Hal?
So I think there's the fashion element of it, but I also think that there's the personable element of it. So it is me running this business, like it's me alone. Like I've got a boyfriend who does photography and things and he helps me out, but you know, it's really me running this on my own. And I think you can hopefully people can see that come through in my Instagram stories when I'm just doing like a little update about, hi, I'm in the studio, this is what I've been doing today. I just really try and keep it real to say, because I think so much of the clothes that you buy nowadays, like you have no idea where it comes from, right? Like, I mean, you might look in a label, it comes from a factory in China or Vietnam or whatever, but like for me, like for my customers and on my socials, I really try and do those time-lapse videos with me making it and just give people more of an insight into like what goes into their product. So I think that's maybe a unique, you know, element of Tight Side Latex, as well as the, you know, the designs, the fashion, you know, the fact that I'm making it and also modeling it, I think is also maybe quite unique and something that people can relate to a little bit. I'm just doing what I love, really, like just making things that I like, basically. That's all it's ever been, you know. I've never thought about, wow, what is gonna make Tight Side Latex unique? Like I've never thought about it like that. I've just like, it's just organically grown in a way that I want it to and that I enjoy and I love.
Do what makes you happy.
And that is what latex is. Like that is what latex is. If I could summarize it, like latex is do what makes you happy.
Definitely. Yeah, completely agree with that. I'll completely agree. It's a very similar journey for myself, really, on Latex 24/7. In fact, I think we both started our respective brands at very similar times, actually.
I remember Instagram, like chatting with you and talking about like starting it.
Yeah, back then when you were 1,000 followers, you know.
I remember. Yeah, and you as well.
Completely understand that. Yeah, just to do what you enjoy. Do what you enjoy.
Sure.
One thing I'd like to actually ask you about, Hol, was you posted on your socials on Instagram, well, probably 12 months or so ago now. You actually went to a rubber plantation. Tell us a little bit about that. Was that a good experience? Was that something that you saw and experienced and sort of put the whole process into context a bit?
So it was amazing. So I basically just went on holiday to Thailand with my boyfriend, and we were driving along. We were going to the hotel from the airport. Yeah. And I just looked out the car window and I could see all of these trees, like all of these things. And I asked the cab driver what it was. And he said, oh, they're rubber trees. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then we saw a factory. We just saw it on the way to the hotel. And I said, we have to go back. We have to go and see what it is. So I think a couple of days in, I was like, come on, we've got to go. So we hired a scooter and we went and found this factory in Thailand. No one spoke a word of English. And I just walked in there and I showed them my website and tried to explain as best I could what it was. and I said, is it okay if we look around, if I look around? And they just nodded and said yes in Thai. I don't know what that is, but they kind of sort of like, yeah. And I just, was walking around. It was the most tiny, shack with only like a few processes, which is also what I love. You know, there's not like loads of factory processes to make stuff and get it to the customer. Like, it's really small. And even from that level, it was a tiny kind of family run factory that were even making the latex. So I just got my phone out and I was videoing and just wandering around. It was the best. It was so amazing. It was just coincidence and luck, but the experience of it was, really, it really motivated me when I got back, just especially seeing, because it was a tiny family run factory. It all brought it together properly for me, I think.
It'd be quite amazing to think that maybe some of that rubber from that plantation could end up in some of the latex that you're using to manufacture.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking when I was there. And I was actually, the funny thing was, me and my boyfriend had just done a photo shoot on the beach. So I was actually wearing latex when I went. So that's also partly how I was trying to explain what I was doing and showing it to them. And I didn't know what they were saying because they were speaking. I would like to think that maybe some of the latex I've got here now is from them.
That'd be great. That'd be fab. Yeah. What is it that you enjoy most about working with latex? What are the biggest challenges to the experience when working with the material, and what's been your greatest learning experience during the whole process?
So I think one of the things when I first started was that I just didn't know how to do it. And there's just not much information online about how to make latex. It's really just like trial and error. So I remember the first few pieces that I made, I just tried them on straight away. I had no idea that you had to let the glue cure for 24 hours, all of this. And they would just rip. They would just rip. And I'd spent hours making these amazing things and they would just break. And it was so frustrating. I just could not work out why. And just eventually through Googling or experience, I just learned that, okay, you just need to wait and be patient. So that was a big learning curve for me. Also just, sometimes I have these like grand ideas of designs and they just don't work. Like they just don't look good, or it just physically doesn't work. That was definitely a learning experience for me. So I just thought, anything I draw can just be done, but actually, in reality, it can't, or it has to be changed a little bit, which is fine. But I think those things were definitely big learning experiences for me.
Yeah, even though there are designs that you try to come up with that don't necessarily work, how versatile is latex to work with, and how easy is it to make those and create those designs of your dreams? Do you think it's easier than traditional materials, more complicated, or?
Yeah, so I've actually got a funny story. So I've got a studio above my apartment where I live.
Yeah.
And last week, all of the electric went out. I don't know why. No one's come to fix it yet, even though I've been phoning. But that I don't need anything to make it. I need a light, which I can use the light on my phone, and it's just the fabric, the glue. I don't need a machine to sew it. It's really like organic and tactile. So I think that's the difference between latex and a normal material, or like a fabric material, is that it's so raw, like, if I can say that, like, you don't need anything. You don't really need much to do it. So that's what I love about it. And there's so many different kinds of latex you can get. And also, it doesn't all just have to be tight fitting. I love experimenting. I've got like a loose fitting men's hoodie online, or I think I've posted a couple of pictures on Instagram of me wearing like the men's t-shirt. Like, it doesn't all have to be tight fitting, which is also what I love about it. It can be anything. I mean, I know I've just said some designs don't work, but it can be anything you want it to be. And that's really what I'm trying to show people, because I think people really have a conception about latex. Like if someone in the street, or if I meet someone new and they ask me what I do, I get two reactions. So it's either, they're a bit, I don't understand that, I don't know what it is, or it's, wow, my God, tell me more about it. It's like those two reactions I get. Yeah. So I want more people to be in the second and just understand it a bit more. Yeah, I guess bring it a bit more to the mainstream, but we'll see. Not too mainstream, but
yeah, it's that case, isn't it, of education really, and changing people's perceptions.
Yeah, exactly.
So your designs at Tight Side Latex cover male, female, dresses, jumpsuits, bodysuits, skirts, bras, underwear, trousers. What are your most popular items that you sell, and what you most frequently asked to produce?
So I'm actually sitting here looking at a rail of stuff that I've made this week, and I've got about 10 tucking thongs hanging up.
Yeah.
So this was born out of just a customer asking me for it. Like, I didn't really know that world. I didn't really know how to make it. So we went back and forwards a little bit, and I designed and made a tucking thong. So it's for kind of transgender people, or, drag queens and things like that. And that by far is probably the most popular thing that we sell. And honestly, probably anything menswear, but probably menswear catsuits are also just, super popular. Because when I first started Tight Side Latex, I only did women's wear. Yeah. And I think menswear was introduced maybe about a year later. Because my fashion background is actually in menswear. That's all I've ever done.
Okay.
But the reason I started doing women's wear is because I was making things for myself. Yeah. So I wanted to get confident in that and know that that would work before I introduced menswear. That's why menswear came later. But because of my background, my experience, I always wanted to get menswear in the range. I knew it was super important. And even I was shocked by how well it did and how much menswear we sold, basically. So, that's definitely the biggest sellers. Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear that there's that great to hear there's that menswear element to the collections. Yeah, it's
for sure.
Still not quite so popular and well stocked as female women's latex is. So great that you're doing that stuff.
And I think the other thing that I would love to do, because I think if you look on my website, there's me modeling the women's wear stuff, but the male stuff is all on mannequins. Yeah. And I think that's really due to the fact that, it's me running the business on my own. And it's been really difficult to find a male model. So I guess if anyone's out there that wants to be a male get in touch. But I would just love to show more. On my website, I've got a whole menswear style guide about how to wear things with denim or whatever. Like normal, I want to say normal clothing that you've got in your wardrobe. And I think that's the next, step for the menswear for me, is to make it more accessible. Like you just said, there's not a lot of maybe brands that are doing menswear, or if they do, maybe then, not always showing it in a way that's so versatile. Yeah. So that's definitely something that I feel very passionate about doing moving forward.
Bro, we've discussed it several times already about the customers, and obviously ultimately they are the people that buy your designs. But how important to you, Hull, is the reaction of those clients when they receive your items and try them on for the first time? Yeah. Is that a big part? Is that something that makes you smile? And I can see the smile on your face already. Yeah. Is that something that motivates you and keeps you going?
Absolutely. Like, that is the biggest motivator for me. Like, ultimately, I can sit here and make a million things, but if someone receives it and they don't like it affects me. It affects me a lot. If someone doesn't like it, or if something goes wrong, or, you know, but equally on the other side of that, when I get messages from people on Instagram saying, oh my God, I actually feel like I'm going to cry. And I get messages on Instagram from people, you know, saying how it's changed their life. It makes everything worth it. You know, I think working in fashion, I've always wanted to do something meaningful. Like, I've got a friend that's a nurse, and it always makes me feel a little bit like, oh, I just work in fashion. But actually, when you get those kind of messages about, I'm getting quite emotional, but about how it's changed, it does change people's lives, because latex isn't just clothing. It's the way you feel, and it's, you know, it's so much more. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about it until they really get into it. And it means everything to me when I get those messages. Honestly,
it's a state of mind, isn't it? It's it often changes the way that people look at themselves, and in most cases that's a positive thing, you know. So
100%. And I also think, because I've also been through that process, you know, and then when other people are telling me that they're going through the same or similar, it resonates, and it just brings me joy.
Cool. Fab. So that leads us on very nicely to, what would you say to anyone interested in wearing the material? Maybe people who haven't worn it, or people who are on the fence about wearing it, thinking maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. What would be your top advice, and what would be your words of encouragement to them?
So, okay, this is a good, very short story I've got. So when I first wore latex out, I was very worried. I just felt self-conscious, and I think it was a pair of leggings, and I would just wear it with a jumper and some boots. And I went out, and I was in the toilet, and 3 women came up to me and asked me where I got my leggings from, how good I looked in them. So many compliments. And it was right at the beginning of Tight Side Latex. And the next couple of weeks, those women all bought something from my store. They weren't just saying it because they were being nice. They genuinely wanted to know where I got it from, to buy it. So I think you don't know how people are going to react, and that's scary. But what have you got to lose? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You know, like, if you feel good, I think just buy something, try and get something that makes you feel good. And if you feel good in it, just go for it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen, you know? You're going to get compliments and you're going to get sales. That's what I learned.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome to hear. It's like a one woman advertising banner on. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I need to wear it more, but it's been so hot recently. That's the downside of this weather.
If you could create a latex outfit for anyone in the world, who would it be and why? And can you describe what that outfit would be?
Okay, so I think, there's a woman on Instagram. She's called Baddie Winkle.
Okay.
So she's a 95-year-old woman. I think she's got like 3 million followers or something on Instagram, but she is cool. And she wore latex to her husband's funeral, and she looked so good. Everything she wears, I mean, like that, like anything she wanted, I would make it for her.
Amazing.
So, like, she wears all these bright colours, and just like, she's the epitome of, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. I'm just going to wear these things that make me feel happy, bring me joy, and things that I love. So I wouldn't want to say this is what I would design, because I would want her to tell me and I would just make it in a heartbeat. You have to check her out. She is fabulous.
We will do. We will.
Yeah.
Awesome. I expect a message in your inbox then.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So, bring this to the end here. What's next for Tight Side Latex? Where can we see you next? What can we expect from you in the next few months and years?
So it's been a little while since I've brought out a new collection, because everyone's been keeping me very busy with orders. There are a couple of collections in work.
Awesome.
So I actually have a leather collection that I'm working on at the moment. So it's, slightly away from latex, but I think complements it very nicely.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I've done some really lovely photo shoots with these latex harnesses worn over catsuits and all of these things. So I've got that in work. I've also got a couple of new products. So it's women's wear, like a new women's wear range. I keep looking to my left. You can see me on the camera, but I keep looking to my left. I've got it on the floor at the moment. I'm literally making it right now. And again, it's just things that I like, things that I've seen that have inspired me, that I love. So I guess they're the next few things. And then beyond that, I would love to do more men's. I could go on and on. I've got 1,000 ideas in my head at all times, but I need to condense and just it. So a leather collection and like a new women's wear collection coming out. So that's the imminent thing.
Well, awesome. Well, the more great products that you can come out with, the better for everyone, I think. So I look forward to seeing those. That's awesome. Thanks, Hal. It's been absolute pleasure to talk to you and share your obvious passion and love for the latex fashion.
Thank you so much. It's been great. Thank you.
So I think that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. So just before you shoot off, do you want to give everyone a quick reminder about where they can see you online, on socials, where to look out for you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Tight Side Latex. We also have a YouTube channel under the same name, and TikTok, and my website, obviously, www.tightsidelatex.com, and also on Etsy. So if you want to shop in your own currency, you can also go over to Etsy. So they're all the ways you can get in touch and buy stuff.
Cool. Cheers, Hal. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. We'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for on this episode of The Shiny Sofa. Many thanks to our special guest, Ollie Smith, for being with us today. We hope you found The Shiny Sofa comfy and will join us again next time. Be sure to check out today's sponsor, polishyourlatex.com, and remember to use coupon code COUCH for 15% off all orders. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to your podcast, and be sure to head over to latex247.co.uk for all latest latex fashion news and reviews.